Okay, everyone, hello. Hope you're all okay and doing well. Thanks very much for coming back to me again today. So what have I got for you today? Well, today I've got a brand new, spanking, shiny, super duper, and how do they call it? What is it they say? Free scoring, never boring, super duper, rip roaring, Ron's Team Talk preview of Group E of the Euro 2020 Championships. Now, in this group, we've got Poland, we've got Slovakia, we've got Sweden, and we've got Spain. So hopefully that should be an interesting group and provides lots of interesting battles and what have you. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Please remember to put a like on the video. Please remember to share it with any other people you feel might be interested in seeing it. And please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, just so that you don't miss out on any other videos that I put out. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, so here we are, everyone. This is my Group E preview. And as I just mentioned, this is the Group E for the UEFA European Football Championships, which have been delayed for a year, and they should have been played last summer, but they're now being played now because of the COVID-19 outbreak. Yeah, so let's get started. Now, this group has Poland, Slovakia, Sweden, and Spain. So it should be quite an interesting one. So let's start. Let's get started. And the first team up today is Poland. Now, in their first match was in 1921. And since then, Poland have competed at 8 FIFA World Cups, with their first appearance being in 1938, when they were eliminated by Brazil. The country's best result is a bronze medal, which Poland won in 1974 and 1982, with this era being regarded as the golden era of Polish international football. At the UEFA European Championship, Poland's best result was a quarter-finals appearance at the 2016 tournament before losing to eventual champions Portugal. Overall, they've competed in 3 European Championships, with their debut being in 2008. They were co-hosts of the 2012 tournament, along with Ukraine. Now, Poland's UEFA ranking is currently 9th, and their FIFA ranking is 21st. Now, let's look about how they managed to qualify for this summer's tournament. Now, they were in a qualifying group with Austria, North Macedonia, Slovenia, Israel, and Latvia. Now, in that qualifying group, they drew 0-0 at home with Austria and won 1-0 away. They defeated the North Macedonians 2-0 at home and 1-0 away. They defeated Slovenia 3-2 at home, but lost 2-0 away. They defeated Israel 4-0 at home and won 2-1 away. And then they defeated Latvia 2-0 at home and won 3-0 away. So yeah, they actually won the group, so that was good. That was a good qualifying tournament, qualifying group for them. Now, if we look at their combined record in World Cup finals and European Championships, final matches, we can see that they played 45 games. They've won 18, they've drawn 11 and lost 16. They've scored 53 goals and conceded 54, and they've accumulated 65 points. So it looks like they've won almost as many as they've lost, and scored a fairly equal and scored and conceded an equal amount of goals. Now, if we look at their performance in World Cup finals and European Championship finals, in comparison with the other sides who qualified for this summer's tournament, historically Poland are the 10th best team of the 24 teams who have qualified for the Euros this summer. So, like I say, they can't be dismissed. I think they're going to be a difficult team to come up against. Now, if we look now at their current form, their form going into this tournament, so they played Hungary in a World Cup qualifying match, which ended in a 1-1 draw. They drew 1-1 with Andorra, again in the World Cup qualifying match. And they drew 1-1 with England in a World Cup qualifying match. They defeated neighbours and rivals Russia 1-0 in a friendly. And they defeated Iceland 4-0 in an international friendly. Now, their manager is, or head coach, I should say, is a chap by the name of Paulo Sousa. On the 21st January 2021, Paulo Sousa was appointed as head coach of the Polish national team. And in his first game in charge on the 25th of March, his side drew 3-3 against Hungary in the 2022 World Cup, in the qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup. Now, since being appointed, his record has been that he's played 5 games, he's won 1 of them, drawn 3 and lost 1 with a win percentage of just 20%. Now, players to look out for, obviously their main man is Robert Leondowski. He plays his club football for Bayern Munich in Germany as a striker, and he is considered to be one of, if not the greatest striker in the modern game. His debut for Poland, for the Polish national team, came on the 10th of September 2008, 3 weeks after his 20th birthday, against San Marino, where he came on as a substitute and scored a goal in a 2-0 away win in a World Cup qualifying game. Lewandowski has earned over 110 caps and was a member of their team at the UEFA Euro 2012 competition, Euro 2016, and the 2018 FIFA World Cup. With 66 international goals, Leondowski is the all-time top scorer for Poland. The other one to watch is former Arsenal goalkeeper Wojciech Szczesny. He made his debut against Canada on the 18th of November, coming on as a second-half substitute for Thomas Kuszczak in a 1-0 victory in a home game. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names of the stadiums or the city it was in, because I haven't got the ability to do that, to be fair. Anyway, he earned his second cap in his first full match on the 9th of February 2011 in the friendly win of the same score against Norway at the Stade Algarve. He has since gone on to make 53 appearances for the full Poland national team. So yeah, he's quite a consistent performer as well for the Polish team. Let's see who they'll be facing in their Group E matches. So their first game will be against Slovakia on the 14th of June at the St. Petersburg Stadium in St. Petersburg. They then play Spain on the 19th of June at La Carta Stadium in Seville. And then finally, on the 23rd of June, they return to St. Petersburg to play Sweden at the St. Petersburg Stadium. Now, if they qualify out of the group, as group winners. Their next match will be at Hampden Park in Glasgow against the third place team from either Group A, Group B, Group C or Group D. If they finish second in Group E, they will face the country that finishes second in Group D in Copenhagen at the Parken Stadium. And if they finish third in their qualifying group, they could face either the winners of either Group B or Group C, depending on their record when finishing third in their first round qualifying group, compared with the other countries who finished third in their first round qualifying groups. And that game could be played either at the Bilbao San Mamés Stadium or the Puskas Arena in Budapest. So, let's see who's next up after Poland. So after Poland, we move on to Slovakia. Now, Slovakia is one of the newest national football teams in the world, having split from the Czechoslovakian national team after the dissolution of the United States in 1993. Slovakia maintains its own national side that competes in all major tournaments since they split from Czechoslovakia. Slovakia qualified for 3 major international tournaments, which were the 2010 FIFA World Cup, the UEFA Euro 2016 and UEFA Euro 2020 tournaments. Slovakia qualified to the FIFA World Cup in 2010 after winning their qualifying group despite 2 defeats against Slovenia. At the World Cup, Slovakia progressed beyond the group stage after a 3-2 win against Italy before bowing out of the tournament after a 2-1 defeat in a knockout stage against the eventual runners-up, the Netherlands. It was the first time the national team ever played in a major football competition after playing every FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign since 1998 and every UEFA European Football Championships qualifying campaign since 1996. Now, let's see how they qualify for this tournament. So they qualified for the UEFA Euro 2020 tournament from Group E, and in that group they faced Wales and Croatia, Hungary and Azerbaijan, and they qualified by the UEFA Nations League, where they entered into a playoff to qualify for the Euro 2020 tournament. Now, in their qualifying group, in their Euro 2020 qualifying group, they lost 4-0 at home to Croatia and lost 3-1 away. They drew 1-1 with Wales at home and lost 1-0 away. They won 2-0 at home to Hungary and won 2-1 away. And they defeated Azerbaijan 2-0 at home and won 5-1 away. Then in the qualifying tournament, the playoff tournament for qualification to Euro 2020, they drew 0-0 with the Republic of Ireland, but beat the Irish 4-2 on penalties. And then in their final match, they played Northern Ireland, who they defeated 2-1 after extra time. So, moving on. If we look at their record in European Championship finals and World Cup finals, we can see that they played 45 matches and they've won 18 games, drawn 11 and lost 16, and they've scored 53 goals and conceded 54, claiming 65 points. Now, if we look at how that compares with the other teams, that information is wrong. They've actually played 8 games, won 2, drawn 2 and lost 4 and got 8 points. Now, if we compare that to the other teams that have reached the finals, Slovakia are the 22nd best team of the 24 teams who have qualified for the Euros this summer. And Slovakia's UEFA ranking is 16th and their FIFA ranking is 36. Now, Slovakia's most recent matches, their current form, let's look at that. Let's see how they've done in the run-up to this tournament. Now, their most recent matches, they drew 0-0 with Cyprus in a World Cup qualifying match. They drew 2-2 with Malta, again in a World Cup qualifying match. They defeated Russia by 2-1 in a World Cup qualifying match. They drew 1-1 with Bulgaria in a friendly match. And most recently, they drew 0-0 with Austria, again in a friendly match. Now, their coach is a guy by the name of Ferran Torres. Stefan Tarkovic. Yeah, here he is. That's Stefan Tarkovic. Now, he, since taking charge of the Slovakian team in October 2000, on the 20th of October 2020, he has played 8 games. He's won 3, drawn 4, and lost 1, with a win percentage of 37.5. His preferred formation is a 4-1-4-1 system. So apart from that, there's not really that much that I know about the chap. But anyway, moving on. 2 players to watch out for, probably their 2 most famous players in Milan Skriniar. He currently plays his club football for Inter Milan as a centre-back. He made his debut for the Slovakia senior squad in a 3-1 friendly win over Georgia on the 27th of May 2016. By the end of the year, he had made a number of appearances for the national team and became a notable part of the squad in the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign. He usually played as a defensive midfielder, but then in November 2017, Skriniar took his place as a centre-back partner to Martin Skrtel in the national team, even directing the Slovak defence when Skrtel was absent. He's gone on to make 40 appearances for the national team and scored 2 goals. Now, the other one to watch out for, obviously, is Marek Hamzik. He currently plays his club football for IFK Gothenburg as a midfielder in Sweden. He made his international debut on the 7th of February 2007 in the friendly game against Poland, which ended in a 2-2 draw. He then represented Slovakia at the 2010 FIFA World Cup as the team's captain, helping his country to qualify for the tournament for the first time in their history, and subsequently led the national team to the round of 16 of the tournament with a victory over defending champions Italy in the final match of the group stage. He later also led his nation to qualify for UEFA Euro 2016, making their first ever appearance at the European Championships, and once again helped the national side to reach the second round of the competition. He's gone on to make 126 appearances for the Slovakian team and scored 26 goals. Right, so let's have a look and see when they'll be playing their Group E games. So their first game will be on the 14th of June when they come up against Poland at the St. Petersburg Stadium in St. Petersburg. They then stay in St. Petersburg until after they played Sweden on the 18th of June at the St. Petersburg Stadium. They then moved to Seville in Spain to face the Spanish national team on the 23rd of June at La Cajata Stadium in Seville. So if they manage to get out of their group, if they qualify as group winners, the next match will be at Hampden Park in Glasgow against the third place team from either Group A, Group B, Group C or Group D. If they finish second in Group E, they will face the country that finishes second in Group D in Copenhagen at the Parken Stadium. But if they finish third in their qualifying group, they could face either the winners of Group B or Group C, depending on their record when finishing third in their first round qualifying group, compared with other countries who finished third in their qualifying groups. And these games could either be played at Bilbao, at the San Mamés Stadium, or the Puskás Arena in Budapest. Now, let's see who's next. So the next team up is Sweden. Now, Sweden has made 12 appearances at the World Cup, with their first coming in 1934. They've also made 6 appearances at the European Championships. Sweden have finished second at the 1958 FIFA World Cup and third in both the 1950 and 1994 World Cups. They also reached the semi-finals of UEFA Euro 1992. And then let's see, now we've looked at that, let's have a look and see how they managed to qualify for this tournament. So they qualified out of Group F in a group where they came up against Spain, Norway, Romania and the Faroe Islands. And in their group matches, their group qualifying matches, they drew 1-1 at home with Spain and lost 3-0 away. They drew 1-1 at home with Norway and drew 3-3 away. They defeated Romania 2-1 at home and won 2-0 away. They defeated the Faroe Islands 3-0 at home and 4-0 away. And then finally, they defeated Malta 3-0 at home and 4-0 away. So if we look at their combined record in World Cup finals and European Championships, we can see that they've played 69 games, they've won 23, drawn 18 and lost 28, and they've scored 101 goals and conceded 93. Now, if we compare that, and managed to get 87 points. Now, if we compare that against the other teams who qualified for this summer's tournament, they are the 9th best team of the 24 teams who qualified for the Euros this summer. So they're not going to be any pushovers by any stretch of the imagination for any team that they come up against. So moving on. Let's have a look at their current form. Now, as you can see, they're, before we do that, actually, let's look at what their FIFA and FIFA rankings is. So their UEFA ranking is 17th and their FIFA ranking is 18th. So both FIFA and UEFA have got similar sort of opinion about that team. So if we look at their current form, which I was going to do just now, but anyway, so in their last 5 games, they defeated Georgia 1-0 in a World Cup qualifying match. They defeated Kosovo 3-0 in a World Cup qualifying match. They've defeated Estonia 1-0 in a friendly match. Finland, they defeated 2-0 in a friendly match. and they dispatched of Armenia 3-1 again in a friendly match. Now, their coach is a guy by the name of Janne Andersson. Now, following Sweden's disappointing Euro 2016 display, Andersson took over as the head coach of the national team. And under Andersson, Sweden qualified for its first FIFA World Cup in 12 years by eliminating Netherlands and Italy during the qualification process. While at the 2018 World Cup, Sweden experienced its most successful World Cup campaign since 1994, winning Group F ahead of South Korea, Mexico, and reigning world champions Germany. So yeah, that was pretty impressive. They then eliminated Switzerland in the second round before losing to England in the quarterfinals. Now, in the UEFA 2018-2019 UEFA Nations League campaign, Andersson and Sweden finished first in their League B group matches ahead of Russia and Turkey, and they managed to win promotion to League A. And the coach has successfully steered the Swedish national team to its 6th consecutive European Championships finals by finishing second behind Spain in qualifying Group F. His record as Swedish head coach is that he's played 55 games, won 28, drawn 10 and lost 17, giving him a win percentage of 50.91. Now, 2 players to watch from their squad are a young lad by the name of Alexander Isak. He plays his club football for Real Sociedad in Spain as a forward. He was called up to the Sweden national team for the friendly matches against Ivory Coast on the 8th of January and Slovakia on the 12th of January. He made his debut against the Ivory Coast, coming on for Per Frick in the 62nd minute of a 2-1 defeat. He started the second game against Slovakia, and he scored the first goal in a 6-0 win. And he scored that goal in the 19th minute. And he became the youngest ever goal scorer in the history of the Swedish national team. On the 23rd of March, Isak made his first competitive appearance for Sweden when he replaced Robin Quaison in the 88th minute of a UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying game against Romania, which Sweden won by 2-1. Isak scored his first competitive goal for Sweden on the 7th of June 2019 when he scored the last goal as Sweden beat Malta 3-0 in a UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying game at the Friends Arena in Stockholm. He has gone on to make 22 appearances for Sweden and has scored 6 goals. Now, the other guy to look out for is a chap by the name of Emil Forsberg. He plays his club football for IB Leipzig in Germany as an attacking midfielder, and he often plays for the Swedish national team as a winger. He made his senior international debut for the Swedish national team in a 2-1 friendly win over Moldova on the 17th of January 2014. And then he made his competitive debut in a UEFA Euro 2016 qualifier against Liechtenstein on the 12th of October 2014. He scored his first international goal for Sweden in the UEFA Euro 2016 playoffs game against Denmark, helping them to beat the Danes 4-3 on aggregate and qualify for Euro 2016. Forsberg played in all 3 games for Sweden at Euro 2016, as Sweden was eliminated in the group stage. And then in May 2018, he was named in Sweden's 23-man squad for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. On the 3rd of July 2018, in a round of 16 tie between Sweden and Switzerland, Forsberg scored the winner for Sweden to send them into the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time in almost a quarter of a century. So let's look at see when they're facing their Group E opponents in their Group E fixtures. So their first game is against the Spanish on the 14th of June at La Cajata Stadium in Seville. They then play Slovakia on the 18th of June at the St. Petersburg Stadium. And then finally, they play Poland on the 23rd of June, again at the St. Petersburg Stadium in St. Petersburg. Now, if Sweden win their qualifying group, their next match will be at Hampden Park in Glasgow against the 3rd place team from either Group A, Group B, Group C or Group D. If they finish 2nd in Group E, they will face the country that finishes 2nd in Group D in Copenhagen at the Parken Stadium. But then if they finish 3rd in their qualifying group, they could face either the winners of Group B or Group C, depending on their record when finishing 3rd in comparison to the other teams that finished 3rd in their qualifying groups. And that game could take place at either Bilbao San Mamés Stadium or the Puskas Arena in Budapest. So the next team up is the Spanish national team. Now, Spain are one of the 8 national teams to have been crowned worldwide champions, having participated in a total of 15 of 21 World Cups and qualifying consistently since 1978. Spain has also won 3 continental titles, having appeared at 10 and 15 UEFA European Championships. Spain is the only national team with winning 3 consecutive major titles, becoming the first European team to win a FIFA World Cup outside of Europe in 2010, as well as the only team to win back-to-back European Championships in 2008 and 2012. Now, because of this, from 2018 to 2013, the national team won the FIFA Team of the Year, the 2nd most of any nation behind only Brazil. And also between February 2007 and June 2009, Spain went undefeated for a record equaling 35 consecutive matches shared with Brazil, and their achievements have led many experts and commentators to consider the 2008 to 2012 Spanish squad to be the best ever international side in world football. So let's see how they qualified for Euro 2020. Now, they were in qualifying Group F, as we just saw when we looked at the Swedish story, with Sweden. And in that group, they also faced Norway, Romania, the Faroe Islands, and Malta. Now, they defeated Sweden 3-0 at home, and they drew with Sweden 1-1 away. They defeated Norway 2-1 at home and drew 1-1 away. They defeated Romania 5-0 at home and 2-1 away. They defeated the Faroe Islands 4-0 at home and 4-1 away. And then finally, they defeated Malta 7-0 at home and 2-0 away. So if we look now at their combined record in World Cup finals and European Championship finals, we can see that they've played 100 games, they've won 46, they've drawn 26 and lost 28. They've scored 143 goals and conceded 110, and they've managed to get 164 points. So they're going to be formidable opposition, I'd say, for any side that they come up against this summer. Now, if we compare them as well against the other countries that are qualified for this summer's tournament, historically, Spain are the third best team of the 24 teams that have qualified for the Euros this summer. So like I say, I think they're going to be a formidable outfit, particularly if they find their shooting boots. Now, Spain's UEFA ranking is 4th and their FIFA ranking is 6th. So if we now look at how they've done in recently, let's have a look at their current form. They've drawn 1-1 with Greece in a World Cup qualifier. They've defeated Georgia 2-1 in a World Cup qualifier. And they defeated Kosovo 3-1 in a World Cup qualifying match. They drew 0-0 in a friendly match with Portugal and defeated Lithuania 4-0 again in a friendly match. Now, their head coach is former Barcelona player Luis Enrique, and he also managed the Barcelona side as well, I believe. Luis Enrique was named coach of the Spanish national team on the 9th of July 2018. His first match in charge was on the 8th of September 2018, and he led the side to a 2-1 win against England in the UEFA Nations League at Wembley Stadium. In June 2019, Luis Enrique quit his post for personal reasons and then returned to his role on the 19th of November 2019. His record as Spanish head coach is that the team under his reign has played 23 games, won 14, drawn 6 and lost 3, and he's got a win percentage of 60.87. So let's look at two players who could be interesting to watch this summer. The first one is Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres plays his club football with Manchester City as a winger. And just 16 days after signing for Manchester City, Torres was called up to the senior Spanish national team for the first time. He made his debut against Germany in the UEFA Nations League on the 3rd of September 2020, playing the full 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw away from home. And then 3 days later, he scored his first senior international goal in a 4-0 win over Ukraine. On the 17th of November 2020, Torres scored his first international hat-trick and a 6-0 win over Germany. On the 24th of May 2021, Torres was included in Luis Enrique's 24-man squad for the UEFA Euro 2020 Championship, and so far he has made 11 appearances for the Spanish national team and scored 6 goals. The other one to watch out for in the Spanish national team is Jordi Alba. Alba received his first call-up to the national team on the 30th September 2011 for the last two UEFA 2012 qualifiers against the Czech Republic and Scotland. He made a very impressive debut against Scotland on the 11th of October in a 3-1 win in Alicante. His impressive debut confirmed his status as a strong candidate to be the long-term successor of it confirmed his status as a strong candidate to be the long-term successor of Juan Capdevila as the regular left-back for La Roja. Alba was included in Vicente Del Bosque's squad for their Euro 2012 finals in Poland and Ukraine and played in every match as Spain won the tournament. He supplied the cross for Xabi Alonso to open the scoring in the 2-0 quarter-final victory over France. And in the final against Italy, after running onto a pass from Xavi during a counter-attack, he scored the second goal in a 4-0 win. Alba made Del Bosque's squad for the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, making his 3 appearances as the defending champions were knocked out in the group stage. He was also named in Julian Lopetegui's squad for the 2018 World Cup in Russia and Luis Enrique's 24-man squad for the UEFA Euro 2020 tournament. Now, following the absence of captain Sergio Busquets due to coronavirus, Alba was given the captaincy of the Spanish national team until further notice. Right, so let's have a look now and see when they're going to be playing their Group E opponents in their group matches. So their first game will be against Sweden, which will be played at the La Cartagena Stadium in Seville. And then the next game will be against Poland on the 19th of June at La Cartagena Stadium in Seville. And then finally, they will be playing Slovakia on the 23rd of June, again at La Cartagena Stadium in Seville. So, now, if Spain qualify out of their group as group winners, the next match will be at Hampden Park in Glasgow against a third place team from either Group A, Group B, Group C or Group D. And then if they finish second in Group E, they will face the country that finishes second in Group D in Copenhagen at the Parken Stadium. And if they finish third in their qualifying group, they could face either the winners of Group B or Group C, depending on their record when finishing third in their first round qualifying group compared with the other countries who finished third in their first round qualifying groups. And that game could be played at either Bilbao at the San Mamés Stadium or the Puskás Arena in Budapest. So that, folks, is the Spain story, and it also completes my preview for Group E. Hey, well, that's it. Unfortunately, everyone, it's all over and done with. That's the end of my Group E preview for the Euro 2020 Championships. I hope you found it interesting and that you enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope it started to whet your appetite for the tournament, which starts this evening. As I'm recording this, the tournament starts this evening. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if all goes well, I may even be able to get the Group F preview out before that game starts. But if not, then it'll be out tomorrow morning. Anyway, I hope that you're all well and that you enjoyed this one. Like I say, before you go, please can I ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Please make sure that you share it with any friends, family, or anyone else that you think might be interested in seeing it. And please remember to put a like on the video. That'd be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to either seeing you later, or if not, like I say, tomorrow morning. Anyway, take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Bye.